Well, as we told you at the top, one major issue President Biden's executive action is not expected to address is gotaways. That's Border Patrol's term for immigrants who cross into the U.S. and evade capture. NewsNation has been covering the border extensively from day one, following border officials tracking down migrants who made it across the border illegally, either on their own or with the help of smugglers. And correspondent Allie Bradley has been following all of it. She is live for us near the border in Kinney County, Texas. So, Allie, what are those on the front lines saying about what the president is expected to announce?
Yeah, a lot of the individuals that we talk to here that are fighting this fight, Nichole, and have been for several years, say, why now? They've had 3.5 years to do something about the southern border, to sign an executive order or shut things down, but they haven't. So those on the front lines are worried that with this new executive order that the president is poised to sign here, that it will create more of an issue for them in the way of evaders, people trying not to get caught, because yes, there will be a threshold, right? So inevitably there are going to be people who continue to try to come, and they're worried that number is only going to increase. So here's some of the details that we know here. Sheriffs across the area down here in the southern border, they have convened in Medina County and other counties to supplement each other, to kind of act as a full force multiplier, if you will. And Medina County is 150 miles from the border. That's how far this problem is stretching now at this juncture. And they're saying that they're trying to stop these individuals from being smuggled and smuggling further into the interior. Kinney County Sheriff Brad Coe has had his fair share of issues since 2021, but he still saw the need in his neighboring counties to send deputies to help them kind of thwart these criminal acts that are happening each and every day. Suspected smugglers refusing to stop for law enforcement, in turn ending up in a high-speed chase. Now, in order to get to Medina County, though, they have to go through several different law enforcement agencies. The sheriff there says they have become the last line of defense for America. And the executive action won't change things for those going after people that are trying to evade. Take a listen.
And you got people from all over the different parts of the globe there to help. This is a storm that we're in, and it ain't going away. It's not like tomorrow the sun comes out and everything's okay. So it's a constant storm, and it's not a victimless storm either. You know, there's so many victims involved that are being human trafficked.
We're not making a dent in it probably, but if you don't at least try, it's basically wide open and free. And we've got to try. Somebody has to do so.
You know, and while we've been covering this crisis, every law enforcement individual I've talked to has said they felt abandoned by this administration. So they see this as a purely political move. So since Biden took office, House Republicans say the number of known gotaways has skyrocketed by more than 390%, citing at least 1.7 million gotaways since 2021. Now, as we mentioned, those are border crossers who were detected but never apprehended. So far this fiscal year, there have been more than 185,000 gotaways, according to our sources. And NewsNation, we have been there to watch the cartel operate in broad daylight, sending people across the border illegally. We're talking about jumping walls, trekking through miles of rough terrain, being smuggled in vehicles. Now, that's what ultimately happens. They're either picked up by one of those load vehicle drivers who are likely recruited off social media and then promised clean routes and big money, being advised not to stop for law enforcement, or perhaps they duck into a stash house to stay off the radar until making their next move. Now, another issue here, Nichole, is that sources say this executive action isn't really going to address the issue of family units and unaccompanied children. We know that this administration has released more unaccompanied children into the interior of the United States than the past 4 administrations combined. Now, the issue here that law enforcement tell me is that there is not DNA familial testing that is required right now. That contract ended in May and nothing was put back in place. But here's the thing, Nichole, CBP says they will still do DNA testing if the parent consents. Now, we know a lot of these families are fraudulent families, so you'd have to get consent from a parent to prove they're not the parent. Law enforcement fear that that could be more of a problem moving forward.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.